morning, everyone. Warm welcome with us, and welcome to our guests and visitors with us this morning. Next week, we're going to try, it's kind of like, you know how it is when you used to go to the lake, and you would put your foot into the, see how cold it was, whether or not you wanted to go in. Well, we're going to try a social half hour. You know, we Lutherans, you know, it's deep in us having coffee in the morning, and maybe a treat or sweet or two. And so half an hour before your service, and at 8:30 and 10 o'clock, out there is going to be set up some coffee and, you know, some treats. We're going to be socially correct and all that kind of stuff, but so that we can kind of gather and chat like we did in the past. So that's going to start next week. We'll see how it goes. Just want to read a little something. Today is my 1-year anniversary, and I remember rolling in here in my RV, which I have since discarded, since sold, and I'm glad that I sold it because living in one of those things get to be claustrophobic, and I'm living, you know, right down the street here. But I'd just like to share this with you. Today marks my 1-year anniversary at Trinity Lutheran Church. We've come pretty far and done pretty good. I like that word, pretty. I had hoped by this date I would be in the rearview mirror in the history of your church as your interim pastor, and your new pastor will be here. That was not in God's plans. He already knows the who and the when. He wants us to use this time to open our hearts and minds for the new chapter he wants to write in Trinity Church. After a year, you and your leaders know better your church, possess a clear vision of the gifts and strengths you want for your new pastor, and most of all, that in order to grow as a church, must grow in size and ministry. Members and leaders of Trinity need to be fearless to make needed, and to say the dirty word here, changes. You know what I mean? I want to pause for a second. You heard about the Lutherans. When the light bulb goes out, who's going to change the light bulb? And the question was raised, change? That's how it goes sometimes. Members of leaders, they need to be fearless to make needed changes for the good of Christ's church and to his glory. Overall, leaders and members are doing good with change. Proposed operational change and the reasoning behind it were sent to you this week and are posted by the bulletin board, on the bulletin board by the kitchen. Please read them again if you wish, but also pray that as God has led your leaders to such bold action, God will bless you with a pastor as bold and up to the task that you lay before him. And with that being said, let us arise and we'll share peace.